Hi, I'm Linda from Barlates Body Blitz. Welcome to Pilates mat, arms and legs. For today's workout, all you will need is an exercise mat and a Pilates band. I'm using the one without handles, but if you only have the tubing with the handles, you can use that. I would just suggest using shoes if you're going to use tubing. If you have a soft band like me, that's perfect. What we're going to do to set up is tie a knot in one end. I want a little loop in there so it's just big enough for your foot without cutting off circulation. So do that now. You might have to have a couple of goes to make sure that it's the right size. You don't want it too big so it slips off, but you don't want it too small to really cut into your foot. So once you have that, make sure it's nice and tight, and then just try it. Put it on your foot and make sure that you've got a good amount of space there, but it's not really loose, okay? Make sure the knot is nice and tight. For the first exercise, we're not going to be using the band, so just put that off to the side, and we're just going to do a little warm-up to warm up our arms and our legs all at the same time with a little bit of ab work as well. So come onto your back and put your hands in such a way that they're underneath your shoulders and your elbows are slightly bent. Your fingertips can be to the front, so in line with your body, or slightly out to the sides. It's up to you. We're going to come up, and what we're going to do is we're going to come down into a triceps dip and kick up our leg as we pulse. Tiny pulse and up. I want a big kick and up. So heating up through the back of the arm, up, up. Go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Now you can stay straight, and what we're going to do is up, down, up, bend. Straight, down, straight, bend. Straight, down, straight, bend. So what you want to do is slightly pulse the arms, tiny bit, just so that you're not stiff through the elbows, but it's not a proper triceps dip. Up, down, up, bend. Kick it up. We're really trying to heat up all the way through the front of the thighs, through your glutes by digging that heel in, through your arms, definitely. Let's go for 3, down, up, for 2, down, up, and last 1, up and down. Nice job. So just get some life back in those arms. That got the heart rate up a tiny bit, which is what we want. Okay, so now we're going to use our loop. We're going to start on one side, and we're going to keep switching sides before moving on to this next series. So put your loop around your front leg. Posture is really important here. You need to have your tummy pulled in, your back nice and flat, and make sure you press your shoulders down and back. We're going to be holding the band in the opposite hand. We're going to start off with our legs parallel and then turn out, okay, as if you're trying to turn your knees to the front, but it's more like 45-degree angle. We're going to start off with a leg out to side, and as we bring the leg out to the side, we're going to do a pull with the other side. So make sure you've got enough resistance, and we're going to be pulling out and in, out and in, out to the side and in. We're keeping our arm at shoulder height, and we're pulling out with our leg turned out and just moving the bottom portion of your arm. If this is starting to already hurt your hip flexors, you can come way back down here, or you can even come all the way down onto your elbow. That's going to take the hip flexor work out of it. But if you can, just because we like to use lots of muscle groups at the same time, try to stay up, blow out as you pull, okay? And really focus on squeezing the back of the arm. So this leg is working the quad, as well as some hip flexor, as well as a bit of inner thigh. So you need to really make sure you're choking up on that band. Out, Depending on how heavy your band is, depends on how much you want to choke up. This is about a medium tension band that I'm using, and I'm already feeling this. But if it's not hard enough for you, then you can also hold on to a light hand weight as well as the band. Go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now we're going to put the band underneath our back leg. We're going to sit up straight again and keep our legs turned out. This time we're going to do a biceps curl, but I want you to have like a fist, and it's going to be like a hammer curl, okay? So make sure you anchor that band, and we're just going to go up and pull in. Up. So your leg is still turned out, and you're pulling in, focusing on this biceps muscle. Even on the down, there is tension on my band. I know that your hip flexor is probably feeling this, but try to stay up. If you really can't, go down on that elbow. Blow out as you pull in. Try to get your leg high, but keep your knee turned out. All the way in. You can squeeze a tight fist here. That will help you engage your biceps muscle even more. The other leg is nice and anchored down there, holding that band. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now we're going to do a back row. Now, because our back muscle is quite a strong muscle, you want to choke up on the band. What we're going to do is row behind, keeping our elbow into our side. Row. And what we're doing with the leg is keeping it turned out. We're going to put our foot in a diamond shape and then extend. So it's in and so make sure you choke up here. Okay, so don't cheat it. Your back can take more than your bicep did or your shoulder did before. So choke up. You're really going to feel this in the front of that thigh. Yes, you are. And you're going to row behind, really far behind. Pinch your shoulder blades together. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Press that leg straight. Point the toe and straighten behind the knee. So, if this is not tough enough, remember I said you can hold on to a hand weight, or if you have 2 bands, you can even double up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. We're going to the other side, exactly the same thing. So I'm going to stay on this side so you can see how my hand is working. We're going to start off with our legs turned out, and you've got that nice diamond shape. You're going to choke up on the band, and remember your arm is coming out and your leg is going towards the back now. Use your hand to support you, and it's your arm stays up, your leg hovers the entire time. You're not putting your leg down. You're trying to keep that knee turned out to the back wall, or about 45 degrees. And you're moving from the bottom portion of your arm, so from your elbow down to your wrist. You're pulling all the way out, and you're trying to squeeze the back of your arm. Squeeze. These compound moves get the heart rate up high. So don't worry if you start to sweat, even though it's a mat workout. Try to get your leg out further. Go for 6, 5, choke up on that band. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, starting to feel that hip flexor. Now anchor it underneath the front leg, and remember we're doing those hammer curls, so make a fist and trial it, and we're going to just raise our leg up as we curl in. So make sure you're nice and supported. Your neck is long, your shoulders are down and back. Do not hunch here. Deep breath in and up. 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 If you're not feeling it, choke up. 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 Try to keep the knee turned out. I know it's hard. I know your leg wants to turn so that it's in parallel, but we're trying to stay turned out. In. So remember, once again, as you come down, you're releasing with tension. This is not slack even on the down. You're pulling in, you're squeezing your bicep, and you're squeezing a fist here, which will help you to activate your bicep even more. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So now we're doing that row behind, so you can really choke up because we're using our back muscle and we're going to row behind. So you start with your leg in a diamond shape, keep that knee turned out, support yourself at the back there, deep breath in, and it's as we push out, we row behind. Don't cheat it. If you feel like there's not enough tension, choke up. I definitely needed more tension there. Also, this move is easier for the leg, so you can choke up on the arm and give that leg a bit less band, which makes it tougher. So once again, straighten behind the knee and row behind. Elbow behind, shoulder blades kissing at the back. You need to make this tough. There's no extra weight, just a bit of body weight. 6, 5, so you need to choke up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ouch, definitely felt that hip flexor. Okay, we're going to take the focus off and go onto our side. So we're changing to outer thigh now. I want you to lie down with both your legs on top of each other and your hips stacked. You're not turning out, you're staying forward, okay? You can either stay up on your elbow like me, or if you really don't want to stay up here and it's hurting your obliques too much, you can lie all the way down like this. But ideally, stay up here for at least a few. The band is going to be quite short in this position. If you need to bend your bottom leg, you can. But doing this, keeping your feet together and slightly forward, means you're really engaging your core to keep you straight, okay? That's what we're going to try and do. We're going to have a bit of a balance challenge. So what we're going to do is keep the leg up, keep your arm in with your elbow coming down to your hip, and as we lower the leg, we're going to come across with our arm, okay? So I want you to keep your leg super straight. You can even come down behind the other leg so that you get more range of motion. I never want you to rest down. I want you to pull and feel that extension and slowly come in with that arm. Don't let it just snap back. You want to pull overhead so that your bicep is by your ear each time. And as you come up, think about squeezing everything. As your elbow comes in, think about squeezing your hip, even your obliques, that muffin top area. We are trying to really use as many muscle groups as possible with these compound moves. Over and in, over and in. Go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now what we're going to do is change our grip so that our palm is to the back, okay? We're holding it like this because what we're going to do is a triceps kickback towards the back. We're going to keep our palm facing the floor. We're going to bring our leg forward, so line yourself up again. Tummy's in, deep breath in through the nose, and choke up. You're bringing your leg forward and you're bringing your arm to the back and you're squeezing the back of your arm, your tricep. You need to decide how much band you need here. You're trying to keep your leg up, hovering. You're really engaging that outer thigh, outer glute area. You're trying not to move the upper portion of your arm. You're just pushing back from the elbow. It's back and in from the elbow. Your shoulder is in a stationary position. Your arm is back, your palm is going towards the back wall. Don't swing your leg, it's slow and controlled. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Now we're going to change the emphasis so you can grab onto the band like this again with your palm facing down. You're going to have to choke up a bit here. We're going to punch to the front as we bring the leg to the back, okay? So I'm just going to move forward so I don't kick my pot there. You can flex your foot here if you prefer. Deep breath in and so instead of going forward, we're going back now. We're pushing forward with that arm, palm towards the floor, heel towards the back, leg is hovering, and you're squeezing that glute at the back there. Really push out strong. You're nearly locking out your arm, but there's a tiny micro bend in the elbow. And you've got your shoulders down, so you're not slouching here, you're pushing out of this supporting arm. Keep your tummy pulled in. That bottom leg is super strong. It's anchoring you. You are trying not to move anything except for that top arm and leg. Keep everything else in perfect alignment. Push back with your heel as far as you can. 8, 7, 6, 5. Are you feeling your glute? 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Come up. And we're going to change sides. But before we do, sit cross-legged. Ouch, can you feel that? Deep breath in. Definitely feeling this stretch. Now, other side. You know what to expect now. We're going to line it up exactly the same way. Come down. Make sure your shoulder is aligned over that elbow. Your legs are stacked, your tummy's in, your hips are stacked on top of each other. Okay, so don't turn out, keep them aligned. Both legs are straight and pointed. The bottom leg stays exactly where it is the entire time. We're going to pull overhead again. So keep your elbow into your waist. Bring your leg up, squeeze it tight, tight, tight. As the leg comes down behind the other one, pull overhead. Tilt your head with it so that you can get your arm further over. But don't slouch here. So you're pointing that toe and you're keeping your leg super straight so that you really feel that contraction all in the front of the thigh and the outer thigh. It's over. Over. Control it back. As you come back, squeeze your elbow in. Feel that hip and that muffin top area squeezing. You're shortening the area between your hips and your ribs. Lift that leg high. The higher you lift, the better it is. In. Breathe out as that elbow comes in. In. Keep your knee to the front and try to get your bicep all the way by your ear. Stretch, stretch long. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. So now we're going to change the grip so that we're going to grip this way and choke up a little bit, because we're going to send our palm to the back, which activates the tricep. So remember, alignment again. Deep breath in through the nose. And we're coming forward with the leg and back with the arm. So you need to choke up here in order to feel that triceps muscle. Remember, the top portion of your arm is not moving here. You're just pushing back from the elbow. And you're keeping your palm facing the floor. And you're trying to bring that leg forward really far. The leg is hovering. It's not touching the other leg. And you're trying to keep it super straight with the kneecap facing the front. Don't turn it out to the ceiling. Coming back into alignment each time. Really stretching back with that arm so that you feel your triceps muscle squeezing there. Push out of this shoulder, don't slouch. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. So now we're going the opposite way. We're going to change our grip on the band again. So we're holding it like this, and we're going to do those punches to the front as we send our legs to the back. If you need a break, you can come down here and you can do it like this, okay? So send your heel to the back as you punch forward with that arm. Make sure that you're in nice alignment still, and you're trying to nearly lock out that hand, okay, so that elbow, but there's a micro bend there. If you want to flex your foot, send your heel back. It's in line and back, and on the back you squeeze your glute. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. Your leg is hovering again. Try and keep it high. Last exercise in this series, and then we're moving on to the last series. Across. Push. Push your shoulders down in opposition. You don't want to hunch your shoulders around your ears. Squeeze the glute at the back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Okay, take that band off for a second. We're just going to stretch that out, put that on top. Deep breath in. You can lean slightly forward, but even just sitting here, I can feel that outer thigh stretching like crazy. We're going to move on to a series where we're lying on our front. So, just to give you a little tiny bit more of a stretch, we're going to come into a child's pose. Stretch your arms out and push your armpits down to the mat. And now come up, and we're going to put that loop around the leg we just didn't work, okay? So, we're going to lie down on our tummies. We're going to bring our foot up for now, make sure that it's comfortable. You might even want to bring the loopy part or the knot around to this side of the foot. What we're going to do for the first one is keep our leg anchored, and we're going to pull our arm forward. So with this one, I want you to have your palm facing the back wall, okay? Because we're going to do another one with our palm up later on. So we're going to push our leg up as we pull forward and squeeze the glute. So you're squeezing up, toe to the ceiling, but you're also slightly moving your leg out towards the back. You can use your elbow as a pivot point and pull. You're squeezing that glute like crazy. Really squeeze it. All the way up. You're resisting against that band. And the arm is really feeling this too. Try to look ahead so that you don't crane your neck to look at me. And hold for that split second at the top there so that you can squeeze your glute even more. Up. You can point or flex here, doesn't matter, but try to go up in parallel so your knee is facing the floor at all times. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Now bring the band across to the other hand and put it underneath your armpit. Okay, so you need to anchor it there. This time I've got my palm to the floor and I'm going to extend my leg as I push across. So you need to gauge where you need to hold that band. I'm pushing across my center line and that band is underneath that armpit, okay? That's what's anchoring it. I'm keeping my thigh off the mat. And I am pushing out and straightening my leg, squeezing my glute, squeezing my hamstring. As you come in with your foot, think hamstring, okay? Squeeze the hamstring. Keep that leg up and you're pushing across. Bring your whole arm across. You should be feeling this in the upper back area. Across. A few more like this. Keep going. Keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Now come back to the front and I'm going to try and hold my band in my fist like this and really just dig my fingernails into it. I'm going to anchor my elbow and what I'm going to be doing is a biceps curl in this shape, okay? If your band is longer, you could even put it through your fingers, through your 2 fingers and go like this. But because my band is super short, I'm just going to try and hold the very tippy end. We've got our legs straight and we're going to go across and out, across and out. As I go across, I'm going to do my biceps curl, across and in. Are you joining me? The band is going to touch your shoulder a little bit, I understand that. Across and in. If your band is just too short for this, you can kind of bend your leg like this. In and out, in and out, which I'm going to have to do because I can already feel my arm fatiguing big time. You don't need to come all the way down either. You can come to like here and in, but you're trying to hit that biceps muscle again. Across, you're meeting your inner thighs together and out, across and out. For 3, for 2, for 1. Okay, so not many of them because that kind of hurt. I think I need a longer band. We're going to switch sides. Are you ready to switch sides? I'm just going to turn around so you can see my leg a little bit better. So put it onto the other foot and guess what? This is the last side in the last series. We're nearly done. So let's lie back down. And we started with those leg ups and those pull forwards. So hold your band with your palm facing the back wall, okay? Deep breath in. Once you see the exercise, don't look at me, look down at your mat so your neck is in alignment with your spine. So we're going to pull, and as we pull, our leg is up and come in. Pull and come in. I'm also slightly pushing my toe away, just to create a little bit of extra tension. But my main point is to go high and to squeeze my glute. And with my hand facing this way, I'm feeling this more in my shoulder rather than my bicep. When we do that biceps curl, we are going to put a hand face or a palm facing kind of more up to the ceiling. So squeeze that glute. Make sure there's space in between your leg and that mat each time. If you want to raise your arm off the mat like this, you can do that too. Okay? But if you want to anchor it, keep it anchored. So it's up and slightly out, but it's not fully extended. We're going to leave that full extension for when we do those pushes across with the back arm. Up and up. Squeeze that glute at the top and up. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Bring it across and underneath the armpit, okay? Underneath your armpit. You need to anchor it, otherwise it's going to pull out and hit you in the head. Palm is going to be down, and we're going to go across the body. So it's elbow behind and then across, behind and then across, behind and then across. As we do this, we're going to extend the leg. So we're extending the arm and the leg, then coming in. Extend and in. Keep your leg up off the mat. See how my leg's up? That's where I want your leg. Squeeze your hamstring on the in. Squeeze your glute on the out. You're pushing all the way across. You really need the band to be super tight here. Okay, you might be able to feel a bit of chest here as well if you bring your arm further across. Try to extend your leg all the way. Point that toe. Push across. Push across. Yes, we are working. There's lots of front of thigh action because you're hovering that leg. There's back of leg, hamstring action. And there's definitely glute action. There's upper back action, there's shoulder action, little bit of chest. Forearms are also getting a good workout here. Go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Bring that back to the other side. Now I am going to hold it in my fist again, and I'm going to use my nails to anchor that. This time I'm going to try and keep my palm facing me as much as possible. It's probably going to tilt slightly, but if you can, and remember we've got a straight leg, and we're going to go across and out, across and out, across and out, across and out. You're trying to get your inner thighs together, and you're hovering that leg the entire time. Your kneecap is down to the mat and out. Your leg is super straight, your toes are pointed, behind the knee is locked out. You are never just allowing your arm to snap back in. You are controlling it on the out and on the in. Across and out. And remember, you can keep your leg up like this if it's just not working for you. This actually hurts more for me, so I'm going back to straight. Across and out. Across, out. Last exercise. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let go of that band. Wow, that definitely work the arms. So come back into that child's pose before we take off that loop from our foot. And sit up, take that off. Because we did a lot of work where we held our body up on our elbows, we would have felt our upper back a lot, as well as our obliques. We really tried to use our obliques, our core, to stabilize us in many of those exercises. So we're going to stretch those out. And again. And we're going to switch our legs to the other side and do the same thing. Really stretch. And over. Stretching out the side body. That one feels really good along here. And over. And then just open up through the legs and just lean forward and just get into position where you feel your inner thigh stretching. So the first series had quite a bit of inner thigh work, a lot of hip flexor work as well. The band definitely uses so many more muscle groups than you usually would if you're just either doing heavier weights. Come onto your side and we're going to pull our heel in, push our thigh backwards, so you're going to open up and really get into that hip flexor. It gets into the smaller muscle groups, the smaller supporting muscle fibers, so it really helps you even with your heavier weights work because you're strengthening all of those tiny muscles that you usually don't get with those heavy weights workouts. So come up and pull that in. You can hold on to either your foot or your calf, wherever you feel comfortable. And then just bend that leg and sit up. And we're just going to stretch over, keeping your kneecap up to the ceiling. Stretching the back of the leg, the hamstring. That last series had a bit of hamstring work in there. And then we're just going to switch it up and come down and stretch that front of thigh and hip flexor. And then just bring that leg up. You can hold on to wherever you want really. Just want you to pull it in and keep it straight. And then as you come up, bend this leg, and we're just going to lean towards the knee. And then just sit cross-legged and grab your band. Just going to grab it in the middle and stretch up and push back. So you're stretching out the front of your shoulders, your chest. And then just slightly over, up and side, up and side, and then come down in front, and center in front, and again. And then last thing, just put it behind your back, pinch it in a little bit narrower and just push up. Pull your shoulders down and push your arms up. And that is it. Thanks so much for joining me for my Pilates mat arms and legs workout. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you at the next segment.